Good day, everyone. Welcome to ICT Empowerment Technologies. Our topic for today is about Introduction to Information and Communication Technologies. Empowerment Technologies is a special module designed to provide students with the foundation of knowledge and skills needed to succeed in environments that required the use of computer in the internet. It covers topic for building essential 21st century skills in working, collaborating, and creating contents online. The massive world of information and communication technology has continued to shape the world, including the Philippines. This unit allows you to discover the world of ICT in general and also helps you improve your skills in various applications. It also creates several real-life scenarios where you can use these applications and resources properly. The introduction of information and communication technologies covered the state of ICT technologies, online systems, functions, and platforms. At the end of this lesson, the student should be able to improve their knowledge on how ICT affects their everyday lives and state of our nation, compare and contrast the difference between online platforms, sites and content, understand the features of Web 1.0 and 2.0, understand the future of the World Wide Web through Web 3.0, and learn the different trends in ICT and use them to their advantage. Information and Communication Technologies. ICT deals with the use of different communication technologies such as mobile phones, telephone, internet, and others to locate, save, send, and edit information. When we make a video call, we use the internet. When we send a text or make a call, we use cellular networks. When we run out of load or battery, we use payphones which use a telephone network. Having a unified way to communicate is one of the goals of ICT. In terms of economics, ICT has saved companies a lot of resources, of course with time and money, with the kind of communication technology they use nowadays. In a similar way, we spend less because of ICT, as it normally costs us a peso to send a text message or SMS. With the internet, we can send multiple messages and only be charged by a fraction. The ICT in the Philippines. Several international companies dub the Philippines as the ICT hub of Asia. It is no secret that there is a huge growth of ICT-related jobs around the country, one of which is the call center or BPO, or Business Process Outsourcing Centers. According to the 2013 edition of Measuring the Information Society by the International Communication Union, there are 106.8 cell phones per 100 Filipinos in the year 2012. That would mean that for every 100 Filipinos you meet, there is a high chance that they have a cell phone, and approximately for the 7 of them, they have 2. In a data gathered by Annual Survey of Philippine Business and Industry, NSO in 2010, the ICT industry shares 19.3% of the total employment population here in the Philippines. To add to these statistics, Time Magazine's The Silpiest Cities Around the World of 213 or 2013 places to cities from the Philippines in the top 1 in top 10 spots. The study was conducted using Instagram, a popular photo sharing application. With these numbers, there is no doubt that the Philippines is one of the countries that benefits most out of ICT. ICT, me and my community. To fully understand the importance of ICT, Let us first look at our community. Look for a small business around your community and conduct a short interview of the business owner with different ICT application. Okay, Web 1.0. When the World Wide Web was invented, most web pages were static. Static, also known as flat page or stationary page, in the sense that the page is as is and cannot be manipulated by the user. The content is also the same for all users, and this is referred to as Web 1.0. It means to say that if you're going to open a website or a web pages, you just simply see and read all the content of this said web page, and that is Web 1.0 version. Web 2.0 or the dynamic web pages. The internet has been a vital tool to our modern lives. That is why it is also important to make the best of the internet. When the World Wide Web was invented, most web pages were static. The content is also the same for all users, and this is referred to as Web 1.0. However, the World Wide Web is more than just static pages, and Web 2.0 came to the picture. Web 2.0 is a term coined by Darcy DiNucci on January 1999. In her article titled Fragmented Future, she wrote, "The web we know now, which load into a browser window in essential static screenfuls, is only an embryo of the web to come. The first glimmerings of Web 2.0 are beginning to appear, and we are just starting to see how that embryo might develop." Web 2.0 is the evolution of Web 1.0 by adding dynamic web pages. The user is able to see a website differently than others. Example of Web 2.0 include social media networking sites, blogs, wikis, video sharing sites, hosted services, and web applications. Web 2.0 allows users to interact with a page. Instead of just reading a page, the user may be able to comment or create a user account. Web 2.0 allows users to use web browsers instead of just using their operating system. Browsers can now be used for their user interface, application software or web applications, and even for file storage. Most websites that we visit today are Web 2.0. So for example, if you are going to open your Facebook account, you are allowed to create your account or sign up or sign in, or you can directly sign in using your username and password. So by this time, in Web 2.0, you are allowed to interact with the website. Feature of or most websites that we visit today are Web 2.0 as I mentioned. So as what we have here, we have a lot of example of a Web 2.0. Features of Web 2.0. Folksonomy. It allows users to categorize and classify or arrange information using freely chosen keywords. Example, tagging. A popular social media networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and others use tags that start with a pound sign. This is also referred to as hashtag. Rich user experience. Content is dynamic and is responsive to users' input. An example would be a website that shows local content. In the case of a social networking sites, when logged on, your account is used to modify what you see in their website. Long tail. as services that are offered on demand rather than on a one-time purchase. In certain cases, time-based pricing is better than file size-based pricing or vice versa. This is synonyms to subscribing to a data plan that charges you for the amount of time you spend in the internet, or a data plan that charges you for the amount of bandwidth you use. So for example, on my situation, I am now using Globe at Home, wherein I have an unlimited data plan. I can use an internet for more than I want. User participation. The owner of the website is not the only one who is able to put content. Others can place a content of their own by means of comment, reviews, and evaluation. Some websites allow readers to comment on an article, participate in a poll, or review a specific product. Example in Amazon.com and some online stores. Or even, for example, in some games website. Software service. Users will subscribe to a software only when needed rather than purchasing them. This is cheaper option if you do not always need to use a software. For instance, Google Doc is a free web-based application that allows the user to create and edit word processing in spreadsheet documents online. When you need a software like a word processor, you can purchase it for a one-time huge amount and install it in your computer, and it is yours forever. Software as a service allows you to rent a software for a minimal fee. So an example of a software as a service, for example, is Microsoft Office 365. So they have a bundle of different software. So for example, for documents, Microsoft Word. For computations, they have Microsoft Excel. For presentation, they have Microsoft PowerPoint. For database or storing data, they have Microsoft Access and others. Mass participation. It is a diverse information sharing through universal web access. Since most users can use the internet, Web 2.0's content is based on people from various cultures. Web 3.0 and the Semantic Web. The Semantic Web is a movement led by a World Wide Web Consortium or W3C. The W3C standard encourages web developers to include semantic content in their web pages. The term was coined by the inventor of the World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee. Lee also noted that the Semantic Web is a component of Web 3.0. According to the W3C, the Semantic Web provides a common framework that allows data to be shared and reused across applications, enterprise, and community boundaries. The aim of the Web 3.0, according to the W3C, the Semantic Web provides a common framework that allows data to be shared and reused across application, enterprise, and community boundaries. The aim of Web 3.0 is to have machines or servers understand the user preferences to be able to deliver web content specifically targeting the user. For example, when doing a web search in Web 2.0, the topmost result is based on the preference of several users who already searched for the item. The search engine then labels it the most common answers to the search query. Though there are instances wherein several preferences are considered like geographic location, Web 3.0 aims to do better. This is through studying personal preferences of an individual users and showing results based on those preferences. The internet is able to predict the best possible answers to your questions by learning from your previous choices. So for example, if you search the internet for where is the best place to go shopping, Web 3.0 will aim to give you results depending on how you have made choices in the past. If you have purchased several shoes online, the internet will give you results on the best place with the highest rated shoes around your vicinity. Another example is when you search for the best restaurant to visit in a specific area. First, it may look for your previous visits from other restaurants, and if you have rated them whether good or bad, in return, Web 3.0 will search for restaurants that have a similar menu good rating and budget that fit your preference in the past. Several challenges of Web 3.0 or challenges. Compatibility. HTML files or hypertext markup language files in current web browsers could not support Web 3.0. For security, the user security is also in question since the machine is saving his or her preferences. And take note, we have a Data Privacy Act to consider. Vastness. The World Wide Web already contains billions of web pages. So, because since we could able to have a blog, okay, there are some who are bloggers, and of course, somebody also created website, posted also in the web, on the World Wide Web. That's why we have a vast World Wide Web already. We have a billion of web pages. Vagueness. Certain words are imprecise. The words old and small would depend on the user, of course. Logic. Since machines use logic, there are certain limitations for a computer to be able to predict what the user is referring to at a given time. Trends in ICT. As the world of information communication technology continues to grow, the industry has focused on several innovations. And these innovations cater to the needs of the people that benefit most out of ICT. Whether it is for business or personal use, these trends are the current front runners in the innovation of information and communication technology. We have convergence. Technological convergence is the synergy of technological advancements to work on a similar goal or task. For example, besides using personal computers to create Word documents, you can now use your smartphone. It can also use cloud technologies to sync files from one device to another while also using LTE technology, which means you can access your files anytime, anywhere. Convergence is using several technologies to accomplish a task conveniently. Social media. It is a website applications or online channels that enable web users to create, co-create, discuss, modify, and exchange user-generated content. According to Nielsen, a global information and measurement company, Internet users spend more time in social media sites than in any other type of site. With this, more and more advertisers use social media to promote their product. So if you are, of course, since you are familiar with Facebook, in Facebook, there are a lot of advertisement, even in YouTube. Especially if you open a file or a video with monetize. Okay? There are 6 types of social media. Number 1, social networks. These are sites that allow you to connect with other people with the same interest or background. Once a user creates his or her account, he or she can set up a profile, add people, create groups, and share content. So an example is Facebook and Google+. Bookmarking sites. These are sites that allow you to store and manage links to various websites and resources. Most of these sites allow you to create a tag that allows you and others to easily search or share them. Example, StumbleUpon and Pinterest. Social news. These are sites that allows users to post their own news items or links to other news sources. The users can also comment on the post, and comments may also be ranked. They are also capable of voting on the news article of the website. Those who get the most amount of votes are shown most prominently. An example of a social news is Reddit and Dig. Media sharing. These are sites that allow you to upload and share media content like images, music, and video. Most of the sites have additional social features like liking, commenting, and having user profiles. Examples are Flickr, YouTube, and Instagram. Microblogging. These are sites that focus on short updates from the user. Those who subscribe to the user will be able to receive these updates. Example, Twitter and Flark. Blogs and forums. This website allow users to post their content. Other users are able to comment on the said topic. There are several free blogging platforms like Blogger, WordPress, and Tumblr. On the other hand, forums are typically part of a certain website or web service. Mobile technologies. The popularity of smartphones and tablets has taken a major rise over the years. This is largely because of the device's capability to do tasks that were originally found in personal computers. Several of these devices are capable of using high-speed internet, and today, the latest mobile devices uses 5G networking, and they have also 4G networking LTE, which is currently the fastest mobile network. Also, mobile devices use different operating system. So, number one kind of operating system in our mobile technologies is iOS. Used in Apple devices such as the iPhone and iPad. So, for those who are using iPhone, either iPhone 10 or iPhone X, iPhone 11, iPhone 9, or iPad 7, their operating system is iOS. Android. An open source operating system developed by Google. Being open source means several mobile phone companies use this operating system for free. BlackBerry OS. Of course, used in BlackBerry devices. Windows Phone OS. A closed source and proprietary operating system developed by Microsoft. Symbian. The original smartphone OS used by Nokia devices. Web OS. Originally used for smartphones, now used for smart TVs. So at present, you can play, for example, YouTube in your smart TV, provided that you have a wire or an internet using Wi-Fi or wireless fidelity. Windows Mobile, developed by Microsoft for smartphones and pocket PCs. Assistive Media. It is a non-profit service designed to help people who have visual and reading impairments. A database of audio recordings is used to read to the user. If you want to have more about assistive media, you may visit http://www.assistivemedia.org for several of their audio recordings. So, this will be my references. Thank you very much for Innovative Training Works Incorporated, Empowerment Technologies by Innovative Training Works, as I mentioned, and Rick's Bookstore Incorporated. Abante M, ICT Empowerment MS Office Application, Unlimited Books Incorporated. Abante M, Basic Office Application, Anvil Publishing Incorporated. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the semesters. See you to our next topic about rules of netiquette. God bless everyone.